So
patience. So speaking of the
Bless your
episode
heart.
this week, discuss child abuse.
speaking of,
I hope
my
y'all
door
watched
is
it.
frequently locked. Okay,
I hope y'all watched it.
so I
Patience.
watched it.
I watched it.
It was
was-
good.
Thank you. Oh, Grace said I only like my kid.
He don't like his kid.
Listen,
Hey, I
it's
can't
hard.
argue.
That 8-9 stage. Whew.
Once again, okay, now we're on YouTube. What's up, YouTube people? What's up, beautiful family? It is Drake, Be Drake with Everything Culture, the podcast for all cultures, the podcast with a purpose. Our mission statement comes from the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and that is he believed that men hate each other because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because of segregation. Because of segregation, we have miscommunication. So this podcast has been built on the pillars of respect, communication, and consistency, so we can get to know each other, so we can love one another. And before, if y'all watching this tomorrow, happy Martin Luther King's Day. You know, Martin Luther King, happy birthday. You know, if it wasn't way they can demonetize us for this, I would definitely be playing Happy Birthday by Stevie Wonder, which, if y'all did not know, that song was created to wish Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. happy birthday and to show awareness to who he was and about his birthday as well, because when people wasn't celebrating how they should have been celebrating. So y'all make sure to play that.
Arizona didn't have MLK Day then.
I don't think they do still.
Yeah, they do.
We got Martin Luther King. Give us a little bit of
I
something.
know he just hates folks.
When people were talking about the Arizona, I'm like, everybody know how racist Arizona is. Let me tell you that.
And I said to you before, which state in the United States ain't racist?
Right.
But I'm gonna
Don't
say it
be putting
again.
Arizona at the
I'm
top
gonna
of the
say it
list
again.
because I could tell you Utah, Wyoming.
Yes.
Oklahoma
be
might
right
have
there
been
with you.
beat. I'm sorry.
But they be thinking Arizona peaceful. They be thinking Texas is worse than Arizona. I'm like,
No.
No, I never said that.
Well,
I never said that.
But Texas is bad, y'all. Don't be trying.
I know.
Okay, don't do it.
I ain't gonna do that. You know, I like Texas. You got to own up to Texas now. Like when we got our folks. It's like our white folks different. We got to watch them. You know, they gonna let you know what they gonna do before they do it. Majority of the time, too. Though that's the thing about with the Texas folks. They gonna show their hand and they gonna stand on it.
Right.
Oh my goodness. But once again, for the folks that can't see on YouTube, because only a few people show their faces, we got some shy folks on here. We got T.J. Lee, we got Sister Girl Jess, we got Serenity, we got Melissa, and we got Greg. Greg got to show his face, got to at least show his podcast out, man. You a content creator, playboy. But we come together every Sunday and we just have casual conversations, open conversations, no community guidelines, but we still got the pillars of respect, communication, and consistency here, which I handle. Okay. So, we want to make sure we're staying within the realm of respecting one another, being engaged within the conversation and allowing people to speak and share their perspectives of things and for us to listen and try to learn and have growth with. So I don't you're ugly until 5 p.m. I understand that, but I just had to make myself pretty a few moments ago. But yeah,
They lying about being shy.
I know. It's okay. They'll be on one day. But they here already. They here already, and their perspectives are absolutely valid and appreciated. So many things to discuss. This week we just dropped the makings of GLIP, which was Monday. I know it seemed like a long time ago, but it wasn't. We dropped the makings of GLIP as well as our another episode for our child welfare series. What is child abuse and neglect? Woo! That was a booger bear, as the country folks would say. That was, I didn't know how to, I don't know why I got nervous talking about it, but while I kept talking, I just became so more fluid within the conversation. Because I never want to misspeak, because when I'm speaking about the federal side as well as the state level, I want to make sure, and that's why I kept saying, people, you better go check this out yourself, because I really wanted to talk about emotional abuse, but I didn't get into the detail as I wanted to, because I remember when I was in training for basic skills and development, for instance, did y'all know, like, for instance, they use this as an example. If your child it was a mother, and my mother used to do this to me. She used to get on me because I used to walk in the back of my shoes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She used to tell me all the time, start walking your back in shoes, start walking the back of your shoes. I'm taking good shoes away from you, blah, 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 whatever. But they use a scenario where a mother made the child wear his shoes on his hands for the day. Okay. Yeah. So it was like, it was nothing physical, but like you kept stepping on the back of them, put them on your hands, wear them as gloves. So, you know, something awkward.
Mhm.
That is considered abuse.
Hmm.
That was an intake. And I was like, when at the time I was like, not knowing, I'm like, what in the world is wrong with that? But once again, I kind of use my perspective of I lived through it, it's okay. But when you really get down into it, especially about the different types of abuse, neglect, it gets real dirty. It gets real graphic. I was even considering putting pictures up of the bite marks, rope marks, lacerations. How some people, but I'm kind of like, I wanted people to see what this looks like, you know, how bad it is. But I don't know if the world, and that's why I say I try to give a trigger warning. Even when me talking about these things, it's difficult. Like I've seen these things. Like I've legit like worked with kids that have these things happen to them. I had a child where the mother, you know, not saying Shannon ain't doing none of this, by the way. But this mother, she used to have visitors come over, late night callers and things. Let's say that. And one of her children with special needs, even when they had birthday parties, and she was ashamed of the one with special needs. So she would put him in a back closet, tie him up, gag him. And it was like,
Whoa.
messed up. Kind of find out this little boy didn't even have special needs.
Mm-mm.
It was just the type of a neglect and abuse she was giving to that child. And it's once again, it's just a lot. Same thing when I don't know if y'all saw the video. I think I stitched it. And y'all probably saw it. It's all over TikTok about the woman who brought her baby to daycare and the baby was already deceased.
Yes.
Like I know the daycare worker got back on there and said, "Hey, this would happen." I guarantee there's an investigation still going on. I ain't been going back and forth with her. Let me tell you that.
Was the mom special needs? Did I understand that
The
correctly?
mom was special needs. Yes.
Okay.
The
Did,
mom.
did you see the one on TikTok with the lady telling the little girl to get on the camera, and you can see her in the mirror? The little girl didn't want to be on live.
Yes. Was that her mother or her foster mother?
That's her mother.
Okay. So that's a good conversation. Hey, Brittany. She over there working. I know that. I know when she have a camera like that, she's over there doing her thing. Oh, and she eating. Okay, let me. So, and it's unique. I'll talk. Now that's I don't know about. I kind of touched on it, but I didn't touch on it in detail about exploitation of children.
Mm-hmm.
Not only sexual orientation, but physical and or exploitation of children as well. It's something going on now while we live in effect, and you can probably catch it when I start saying this now. People are having children to get views online now. They get a social media following.
Yep.
Shit. Dead ass.
Well,
So if you put a child on social media and the child doesn't really want to be on social media, would that fall into the category of exploitation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Same thing when you put your discipline routine or that is considered.
This is what I do.
Hey, see, and that's why I be telling Shane. You know, I we on live right now, but I be trying to Shane. How many times I tell you stop doing that?
All the time, but for a long time, that's why Africa stopped allowing people to adopt kids from that continent, because they were basically sexually abusing them or exploiting them on video and selling it to people in politics.
Ugh.
So it's a fine, once again, you can say it's a fine line. And once again, I love everybody's opinion on it, but I always go back to empathy. And when I think of empathy, I try to see myself in that person's shoes and not only listen to them, but what would I do in that situation? And also imagine their feelings and their thoughts and, goes into it. So Yes, T.J. Lee.
Well, that's kind of how I felt about the lady who brought the baby to the daycare. Once she said that she had special needs, I was like, maybe she panicked and didn't really know who to call once she discovered that the baby was deceased, because we know that we call 911 or the ambulance for somebody who's in distress, but she probably panicked and didn't know what to do once the baby was actually just deceased.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt for her
on the
that
mom
way.
of a special needs child who is a girl. My daughter shuts down. She gets scared and she looks for a place to hide. And maybe for this mom, her safe place for the baby was the daycare.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, so she probably figured, I don't know what to do, but they will. So let me take it there. Because I mean, my daughter has a loving nature. She does not see a stranger. And if somebody was to do something to her in our teaching of stranger danger, she doesn't get it. But when she gets scared, she hides in her closet. So like when the SWAT team was here, we had to go find my daughter. They wasn't here in my apartment. They was here in my complex.
Hey, you know I'm about to get you some. I'll ask some questions. Like, wait a minute, like
they was here in the complex trying to find somebody who was right across, like literally across from us. But they had the little flash bombs and everything. Like it sounded like a war zone. My daughter ran and hid in her closet, but we couldn't find her. We could not find her because that's her coping mechanism to hide. So
also go and hide in the bathtub too. If you ever hear gunshots and things like that, lay in the bathtub if you have one. That's another tip. So just tossing that out there.
Thank you.
And Sister Girl Jess, we see your hand. And thank you. Raising our hand in class.
Right. I think though what bothered me is that she knew not to let them touch the baby before when she got there. She took. I think that's what I get what everybody's saying, but what bothered me is the fact that she knew. Oh no, I'm gonna lay her down. I'm gonna lay the baby down myself. Oh no, I got this. And just the way you did it, that bothered me. I understand you being. I think she was truly in denial, but you're in denial, but you knew what was going on for you to do that part.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Go ahead, T. Go ahead.
But I don't know, because I'm not in her shoes. But maybe she didn't want somebody to touch she didn't. I feel like maybe she was scared of whatever conflict, or you know what I'm saying, like
consequences
too. But
when you're afraid of
being
consequences, you have
screamed
knowledge.
at or yelled at, or I feel like she was just panicking. That's what I feel like.
I totally agree with the panic part, but then, and I also agree with the she was scared of what was going to happen. But for the part that you're being scared of something happening means you know what's going on.
True.
Very well said. Now we got two folks in here. I love hearing everybody's opinion, but Melissa, Brittany, have y'all seen this situation, this event that was happening? Oh, I just see on mute, but I hear I don't know. Like
I haven't heard about it. I didn't hear about it.
Okay, so
but hearing you guys talk about it, are you talking about the baby at the daycare?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to find.
I didn't hear about it, but that's are they? So they did confirm that the mom has special needs.
That's the thing. It's coming from one person, which is a daycare worker.
Okay.
My thing, once again, Brittany's worked for CPS, and Melissa has as well. So we have a different type of mindset. We're wired a little differently. We come from a very that was our profession. Okay. So that's why I just said investigation.
We asked some questions before we actually make.
There you go.
Was it confirmed that she, it's different, and to what degree was she on the spectrum?
There you go. Right. Because I've had mothers that needed special treatment. I've been in court, and I was going to say this as well. I've ordered as a child advocate, as a guardian ad litem, I've ordered for the court to give the mother a guardian ad litem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think this is a good time to address things like that is when we get into the court piece, but parents may not know how to express themselves. I saw someone recently talk about how the mother didn't know how to read the court documents, things of that nature. Is one things that an attorney can help. Your attorney ad litem is to represent your wants as an adult. If you tell your attorney you want your kids back, you want child support, you want this, and that, you want them every day, blah, blah, blah. Your attorney's job is to go and fight for that. Your attorney ad litem. They represent your best interests too until you have a guardian ad litem. Your guardian ad litem does not represent all your wants. Your guardian ad litem represents your needs. Like that, what you're saying is may not be in your best interest, but it's your want, but it may not be in your best interest. So that's why it's that I looked at that. And sister girl, GS, I see your hand. Or is that your hand?
I also recognized that she said that the director of the daycare told her don't bring the baby back without a doctor's note.
Correct. So I'm gonna try to play
plays a factor in my thinking. Also, it's like why? What? Go ahead.
No. That's the video. That's the video.
Oh, I'm like, huh? Why did you? Why? What took you so long to get one? Like, did you even take the baby to the doctor? And then the fact that the fact that you knew you needed one and you was trying to weave your way through the red tape or through the system itself, through the precautions.
It was a lot.
Time out. I don't know why. I went to this young lady's account and I just see how much traction she got from everything. I'm like, I hope she ain't lying about this. But go ahead. Let me once again, that's me.
I hope she's not either.
I hope not.
No, it was on. I was going to try to Google it, but I didn't look to see where that girl was from.
Because this happens often, by the way. This happens. So my big picture. So let me play the 2 videos. Damn, 10 million on that shit. Oh, look at the baby. See, this is a whole shift in energy right here.
How cute.
Hello. Oh, she's so beautiful.
I babysit. I got Mima duty.
Bubble guppies.
Bubble guppies.
Hi, Uncle Drake. You know what I'm saying?
We gonna get you some bubble guppies, wherever that is.
You getting ready to get all the bubble guppies.
Oh my gosh, she's adorable.
See,
I can't.
See, TikTok wouldn't stand this. They'll boot us all.
Right.
Man, this is precious. How old are you?
She this many.
Oh,
oh.
See, let's look. Oh, we got Olivia trying to peek her head in.
Oh, hi, Olivia.
Hey, Olivia's an all-star. Like Brittany.
She said, "I'm cute too."
Oh,
I'm cute too.
Hey, Uncle Dre.
Uncle
What's
Dre.
up, Niecy Pooh? Oh, hey, I'm fine being the uncle. What was that? What's up, the uncle? I'm fine with being instead of Uncle Phil, Uncle Drake. I'll be okay with that. Hey, but I was peeping Olivia the other day when Brittany wasn't even paying attention. Olivia was really running the show. I'm like, God, I need that's what I'm talking about. Y'all make sure tap the screen. She about to be on my list too.
Put on
we
it.
On YouTube, we on TikTok. Okay, TikTok, y'all make sure to go ahead and share it live. I'm like, oh. Shane, Shan kids be wearing her. See, you got to know how to coach them, Shan. But I got to shout out to Shan because she went on her podcast. She's been introducing them in there, and it is the cutest thing. Once again, if you're a mother and you ain't checked out Cozy Womb podcast, you're slipping. Okay, I'm just letting you know. Even though she got like 30 podcasts, Cozy Wombs is for the mamas. Okay, and oh, I wish I had this one. I need to share her. I shared your podcast recently with someone. I had a consultation with someone that's trying to start their own podcast. And they want to do it like for mothers and talk about trauma and The experience of motherhood, which I don't know a damn thing about. Just from my perspective as being a black male child. But I was like, man, do it. And I said, but you need to listen to Shan. Cause Shan does her one-on-one thing. She just roll. But this other one, she's scared to talk. So many people scared to talk, but be talking their ass off. Ain't that some crazy shit? But
I'm gonna say no name.
Hey, Drake.
Yes.
Look where my bonnet went.
Oh, love it. Hey,
Can't have nothing.
we wearing it. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my God, what is her name? I wish I could remember her business. I wish I had a card in front of me right now. Once again, I support Black-owned businesses, and that's what we go share. And if you're trying to start a podcast, make sure you go to lulu.com and check out Shan's book. Shan, you got to drop the link in the chat, and we'll make sure to share it as well.
What's the name of the podcast again?
Cozy Womb. Shan, you got us on mute. We just see your lips moving.
Thank you for sharing it. It's called Cozy Womb, okay? Because both of my kids were late. They were not trying to come out of this thing, okay? I had to eject them.
Yeah.
I was the same way. I was like, put it this way, I was supposed to have been born in June. My birthday, July 30th. I am a Leo.
Listen.
Oh.
One of us.
Okay, let me try to I share this appropriately and things, because I don't want to, I don't be doing nothing crazy on this on this computer, so we good. So let me see if y'all can see it. Y'all let me know. Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we see it.
What?
Why would you do that?
Huh?
So
what?
Basically, say to the woman that brought her deceased toddler to daycare and acted like he was just sleeping. All right. So boom, this was all the context. Okay. Once again, I stitched this video and I said, an investigation is going to come from this. That's all I got to say. And what should be.
Wow.
Sorry it took so long for me to get back to y'all with the story time, which I know everybody wants. So here we go. And please do me a favor, just in case the algorithm don't bring those people back who really wanted to know, go find a comment and tag them in this so they can know. But anyways, here's the story of the woman that brought her child to daycare who was already dead. Okay, so there was this little boy. One day at the daycare, he got sick and threw up. So my director told his mama he can't come back unless you bring a doctor's note, stating that he's okay. So a few days go by and it was made clear among the staff, don't let him come back because his mama didn't come up with the doctor's note. But after a few days, when the woman showed up to drop the baby off, the staff member that was there went on and let her, drop him off. And the mama says, I gave him some medicine. He's asleep right now, and he'll probably be asleep for a little while because I gave him some medicine. And I was like, oh, okay. But then she's like, can I lay him down because he's asleep? And she was like, sure. So she goes and she lays the baby down. And it just so happened that within 5 minutes of her dropping this baby off, my director calls to check in. And she's like, who's all there right now? And the staff member is naming off the kids, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. And then when she gets to his name, my director's like, huh? What is he doing there? She was like, oh yeah, he came to drop him off. She said he's doing fine, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I said don't let him come back until the mama gets a doctor's note. And so my director says, go and check him, And when she goes over there, she's like, he's not moving. So my director's like, turn him over. When she turns him over, he was already gone. And it was clear that he had been gone for hours. He was, black and blue. Now, oddly enough, in a story like this, the woman didn't kill him. He had been sick his whole life and he had water on his brain. Like when the autopsy came back, it was natural causes. She had a history of mental illness, and when she found him passed away, she just freaked out and still brought him in. So she didn't go to jail or anything like that. He passed of natural causes, and she just did the weirdest, craziest, most irrational thing that you could do. But that's the story, y'all.
So right there, that's it. That's all that we have right there. Okay. Boom, shakalaka. All right. And once again, the previous caseworker in me is like, I think she may have seen an article from the past or something. Okay, if this is recent, I need to know more. That's my thing. I need to have, once again, I would want to see the conversation. I want to see paperwork, because it was a comment. I lost my son. I know people that lost their children to SIDS in daycare. Okay. Personally. And I've seen people that would try to push the blame to someone else, but from the action as a judge, from the actions that they made, they had enough sense to bring the child in. Hey, oh, you got the okay. See, oh my, love the hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. See, okay, y'all cover your ears. I'm gonna try to say this in the most professional way, but I've seen some people try to pass the blame on other folks, and the way that we're going by covering the child, I want people to touch the child, bringing them in. That would raise us the alarm for me. Now that would bring the child in.
This is not mommy's podcast anymore.
Let her know. But it's one of those things that I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And but once again, when the autopsy, did they just do one? They just did one autopsy go by it, and it's just so much that goes into it, and why? Because I've seen times where the hospital been to blame. Okay, I've had situations where I've had children pass away and nothing go from it. And once again, I think I said it on the show. It's a difference between criminal and civil child welfare and abuse and neglect. Okay, civil is just like it's a lawsuit. It's like where your kid's gonna be placed. Who if you had other children, who should be held responsible for who have the placement of the kids? It's like a divorce to a sense. All right, custody battle. Criminal, civil don't have nothing to do with criminal, but we do keep in touch with each other. Okay, we follow like the criminal case follow the civil case. We exchange information, but these are two different type of hearings. Okay, so that's why you may have some parents, they may have some substance abuse issues and things of that nature, or even distributing. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay, that's the criminal case. They handle that. All right, we don't do none of that. But if they get charged and they go on that record, we will get that record and have that against them in their civil case, if that makes sense. Am I accurate, Melissa and Brittany?
Yes, and then to add to that, when it's a tribal or a native child, that involves federal. I worked for the tribe CPS, and that involves like FBI. We had a fatality. I wasn't actually working for CPS at the time. I was a police dispatcher, so I happened to get this one case, the call actually, when I got onto my shift. But yeah, it was and it just so happened to be the sibling of the last kid that I had moved to adoptions. So it was really close to home.
That's good.
But yeah, then it turns federal, and then the FBI gets involved, especially if it's like you said, it's a criminal, federal case.
And to explain, give it a little bit more detail on that too. Once again, with tribal nations, they have jurisdiction over their children and their families. So if a CPS case comes up, and like if they have to do paperwork, I forget the name of the exact form and things, but every family must fill out. And if they say they have anybody of indigenous or they belong to a tribe, that information, that jurisdiction goes to that tribe immediately.
Yeah, and then they're given a tribal worker on top of the regular CPS worker.
Yeah. I've never had a tribal case personally, but so I can't. So Melissa's a wealth of knowledge for that for me. I never worked it personally. Yes, T. Love the head.
Had y'all seen the Thomas the Villain post? This was a while back. Okay. There was some guy who kept coming after him on his videos, and he was, racist. Okay. He kept coming after Thomas. Well, Thomas.
You can say racist over here. You can say racist over here. Hey, Kim.
So he was racist. He had a lot of racist rhetoric on his page, and he was always coming after Thomas. Well, Thomas found out that he was in the process of trying to adopt an indigenous child.
Whoa.
And when I tell you, the people in the comments were like, oh, hell no, he's not. No, he's not adopting this baby. Those people went ham. They ended up taking that baby from them. He comes back on the platform, cussing everybody out, talking about how y'all gonna tell us that we can't have him because he's indigenous and this and that and blah blah blah. And they were like, sir, you are racist. Do you think it's a good idea for you to have that child with you with your views? It was a mess. And Thomas was like, there ain't no way I was gonna sit back and let you have that baby with the way you come at me on my platform for disagreeing with what I'm saying. Not happening. They took that baby.
Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. It happens way more than you believe. And
I believe it.
Once again, you on YouTube. Once again, we got about 9 more minutes. We'll be on YouTube. Then we go have our little private conversation that we do where I can be a little bit more direct. It happens way more than y'all think. So once again, if I did this in a previous episode, I talked about the different types of CPS departments. Investigations, family-based safety services, conservatorship, and adoption prep. Okay. I always say adoption prep is the fun one because all the real hard work is done, in my opinion. But the adoption prep means the kids have been opened up for, they're no longer legal risk, and they can just go into finding them a home, either a family or a adoptive home, someone they do not know, never met before. But they have something called, are they RAS meetings? What are they called? I don't know what they'll call in your area when Melissa may have dropped off, but I think they were RAS. I think that's what they were called. But it's basically when you sit down, it's almost like an interview for foster parents, a foster agency. A foster agency would come in and they would have like, okay, we got these 4, and it's like an all-day thing sometimes. Like, we got these 4 homes, we got these 4 families here. Then another foster agency, we got 3. Another one coming in, we got 1. Another one coming in, they may have, and we read all over their background, how many kids they have in the household, biological kids. Do they have any medication? Do they have any illnesses? How old are they? How long they been married? Are they faithful to one another? I mean, it's like, get deep into it. It's like, would this be a good home for this child? I've had kids that I'm like, this look like a good home. This little girl ain't gonna work here. And I've had some, this girl gonna do great here. But somebody need to prep this foster home or this adoptive home, what they're gonna be dealing with. Okay, it's really a wild situation. But especially with indigenous family and especially Black folks, we don't have enough homes that want to adopt us. And when we do find homes that do want to adopt us, it's not always ideal. That's the sad truth.
And I'd like to say this to add to that. This lady was on TikTok talking about why she chose to be a single mom at her age with a 13-year-old son. Mm-hmm. And it was where she was with someone, she got pregnant, she lost the baby, but she prepared for a second child, and their relationship basically went to nothing. But she still had the need of wanting a child. She said she went to go get IVF that wasn't covered by her insurance. Was covered by, and IVF could go for like 30K. I have friends that have done it. And she said when she went to choose from, what she could get to have a Black child, she said is basically 2% over everything to find a Black man's sperm to have that done. And she said what she gets to choose from is basically the majority, which is Caucasian, or Middle Eastern. So her child is Black and Middle Eastern, and she doesn't know the child's other side or background and details like that. But our community doesn't think, okay, do we have enough men who maybe don't want kids personally going the extra mile to be like, I want to make sure another Black woman has a chance to, and we don't. So when we see people with Black women with kids that don't look like us, we have to think about that. Like, what are their options when they do want kids and we are not there as an option?
I've always, I don't know, because I've always looked at it differently. Because I see a lot of single mothers, period, that need support. Black mothers to be specific. But I see more of other races taking in Black children, not taking this in at all. Because
I really feel like it became trendy over the last 2 years.
Oh no, I don't care say the last 2 years, because once again,
it's been trendy since a lot of celebrities been doing it.
Yeah. Don't forget Angelina Jolie and all that.
And then not only do they adopt Black children, they adopt Black children and then say they want to be girls if they were boys, or they want to be boys if they are girls. And you see them basically transforming this child that has no say-so.
Or that's another thing we touch on too, is about even religion. But the thing is, you going into a different family. You're going in, like, what age you're being brought into. Because once, like, if you come to a younger child, that, when you got to a young child, is to the point that it's easier. And once again, I think you get more. And once again, in Texas, I know for sure you get more benefits if it's a Black child compared to a white child, depending on age. I think if you adopt a Black child at any age, that child is going to get all the benefits rolled out. But if you adopt a white child, I think after the age of 5 or 6, you'll get the benefits. Brittany, am I close to it?
Yeah, come on, Brittany.
I would love it. See, that's why I try to put professionals back on, because I may be slipping.
Brittany was looking like I got something to say.
Like, look, okay. Coming from personal experience, I was in foster care. I was in foster care at the age of 14. So my whole high school year, like all 4 years, I was in foster care. I moved from one home. They put me in a group home. But then, excuse me, why in the world?
Got 3 more minutes and you can cut it loose. Okay.
Why they put me with a family that was Jehovah's Witness? I'm looking like, excuse me. And it was around Christmas time. So I'm like, okay, I'm already pissed off at the world. So you gonna have me pissed off at this family too? Like, and then it was some shady shit that was some shady stuff that was going on in that home. And I'm happy that I was able to leave. But I'm like, y'all don't take into consideration nothing that we tell y'all. And this was me back in Michigan. And to come down to Texas and learn the laws and how they move, I'm like, y'all just as worse.
Yes, they are. So Brittany, hold on, I gotta ask. We go get into it, Tina. We go get into it, T. So once again, I forget, Brittany, you are going to be on double episodes. You're going to have to come back, because when we do the child welfare conversation too. So by you being, because my mentee, being his license, he want to be a social worker. And I remember when he was 17, saying he want to be 18, when his circle of support, every caseworker in there, no, the hell you don't. But it was like the whole point. You been on both sides of the spectrum, okay? You seen, because you was in conservatorship for a while too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Once again, do you understand, or do you see a difference when you became that conservatorship worker that had a child? Like how, like you said, knowing the laws and knowing the bonds as a social worker, could you do much about that? Could you, like, that's my question.
No. And the reason why is because politics play more into it plays more into the situation. Like, no matter how hard we advocate for the children, for what's right, or how we feel like it should go, ultimately it's up to our supervisors, our program managers, the regional, like, it's their decision. It is above me. And going through that, like, I started off in conservatorship. I had my child, I had my baby, like 8 weeks, 2 months. Like, I was taking care of her and other babies.
Ain't no way. Like, and it happens a lot. Once again, that's what I was looking for our discussion. That's why I was looking. You was in the car working But people need to hear that, okay? But it was kind of said through oh my gosh, I cannot think of her name right now. But she kind of said that we had co-workers with CPS cases open against themselves because they couldn't watch their own kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When people, I don't think people quick to go to the caseworker. You going to the man with the least amount of weaponry. You going to the person with the least amount of power.
Exactly.
And
we have the most information. However, we don't get listened to.
And that's why I got into it with that judge one time, because he barking me. I like, hey, okay, you know what? I ain't gonna say all that here because we about to have a little conversation. But hey, YouTube, thank y'all for being. Should we stay on live? Do y'all want to continue? Like once again, I'll be trying to get folks on, but I know football going on right now, things of that nature. But we'll grow. But hey, whoever's listening to us and watching us on YouTube right now, we want to say thank y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next Sunday at 1 p.m. The last Sunday of the month, I will be in Texas. So I don't know how I'm going to do this, but we're going to make it happen one way or another. But we want to say we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment on our podcast, please. We would greatly appreciate that. Like, greatly appreciate comments on the pod. Leave a review. Because we trying to keep this thing going to keep the lights on here at Everything Culture. So we really gonna appreciate that. And before we go, we got to let everybody here that's been part of the platform shout out whatever you're doing. If you know somebody else you want to shout out, hey, this is your time. So Sister Girl Jess, do you have anybody you want to shout out or share or anything of that nature?
Your latest episode, I really enjoyed it, and I think everybody should listen to it.
Thank you. I agree. Greatly appreciate that. Great. Thank you, Sister Girl Jess. Let me see. Shan.
I think if you have kids or you don't have kids, or if you just came from two human beings, I did a episode last week with my mom talking about who taught her healthy love. And I think a lot of the ways that we love other people or we connect with other people and why we choose them is because of how our parents chose each other. And I think if you can have a chance to talk to your parents about what their experiences was and who taught them that, you'll find a lot of patterns that you might repeat. For instance, my mom chose my father, who acted like her mother, who she didn't get along with, thinking she can love the not so niceness out of him. And I chose someone to have a child with that's just like my father. Not to change him, but to think that, maybe it'll get better. And so I think when we learn about our parents, we learn about ourselves.
That's why we do the makings of you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shan. Low. Chris to me. I know she probably ain't not cooking. So we go to.
I'm not cooking, I'm making tumblers.
Well, shout yourself out. What can we do? How can we support you?
You put me on the spot. I wasn't ready for this. Promote my page, www.doulainthemiddle.com. Buy some tumblers on D'Souza Designs by Low on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And support your local autistic community.
Love it. Because I think we have had several conversations here, and that's one that I would love to circle back on in the future as well. TJ Lee.
Yes.
Okay. How can we support you or support something that you want to support?
This week, I want to support the makings of Gerald and the makings of Nicole Jackson, because I thought those were two very good episodes on everythingculture.com.
Thank you. Hey, I love chatting with my folks and getting to know folks and letting y'all know after those 2 and 3, even with my guy here, Vic, I'm adjusting the questions a little bit. Y'all may have to see some more tears in the future, but we go see. Trying to keep it going. Serenity, she probably go check. Serenity, if you like to type out anything you would like to share, we are here to share it. We'll read it out loud for you.
Don't do that.
So how can we support you, Serenity?
Well, it's not about me, it's about everybody else. I want to shout out everybody that's here, everybody that's listening. Continue to do what you do, continue to be great. Don't worry about changing the world, but you will change the world by touching one person at a
time. Gospel. Love it.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Look at her. She don't say much, but when she speaks, she says it means a lot. It's impactful. Let me tell you that. Okay. Brittany, how can we support you?
Just continue reposting and commenting on my TikTok and my Instagram, Art by Brittany Marie, and also continue to support my boy Drake with everything culture.
Oh, love it. Hey, once again, see, I'm gonna have to practice y'all shouting yourself out. Brittany is an artist. Okay, she does a lot of things, hands and so many things, but she is making so many beautiful pieces. Especially with the chest. There's a lot of work going into it. Like I was watching her do one, and I was like, because I would think maybe I was like, fuck that. I was like. Like, I ain't gonna worry about none of that, but we appreciate you doing that. But once again, I will be getting a piece soon. That's my I got some things in works, but when I put you to work, I'll put you to work. But we value what you're doing. Thank you. Greg, Pops. I don't know if the baby's still there. How can we shout you out, man? How can we support you? Okay, he may have stepped away, but he val. We got Greg and Shan with Loudmouth Stereo. Shan, you on mute.
All right, we have new merch on Loudmouth Stereo Shop. I like it. I had to order me a little something. So if you want some merch going into spring, it's up there, Loudmouth Stereo Shop with Teespring. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Melissa, hey friend, how can we support you?
Honestly, I just by supporting everyone that's on this call. I mean, I support each and every one of you. I do my best to try to share, like, comment, all of that, and definitely visit your guys' websites. It's very uplifting how great this community that Drake puts together with some really, really great people. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you. And I was going to say, we're going to touch hands around Melissa as soon as we get off of this, because we're going to talk about, I said we're going to talk about your situation. We're going to pull it up. We're going to get some feedback. Okay. Get some advice from the mothers we have. Okay. Absolutely. Vic, what's going on? Look at talk.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I appreciate y'all for having me in this circle. Like I said, I feel myself getting better just sitting back and listening to the conversation and stuff. But y'all can just continue to support me by commenting on everything and stuff. So I'm gonna come to y'all real soon once some things fall into place about, taking next steps. We're getting a website, merchandise, and also your boy is gonna be at a podcasting conference in about 2 weeks. So I'll see what's popping with them, I'm a little nervous because it's going to the one with the white folks podcast conference. So I'm a little interested in learning to see who I meet there,
Where is this located?
This one's in Orlando. It's Podfest in Orlando. It's going to be at SeaWorld.
Oh, okay. It seems like a good time right there, man. Okay, do your thing. Absorb that knowledge and come back and share it with the rest of us, man. That's what it's all about.
I got y'all.
And last but not least, we got my boy Ronald Taylor Baylor. What's good with you, brother? How can we support you?
Yeah, I wasn't ready. Go support Shan. She's dope and she gets it. Go buy her merch. And then after you buy her merch, go buy Drake's merch. And then everybody else on here that got merch, go buy it.
There you go.
And everybody that sees a post from Baylor, repost it. Thank you.
See a post. Y'all make sure to go listen to BTG for President. Make sure to go check out Open Run with BTG.
Look at you, man. I see how you slowed it down.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, you know what? After church, this ain't gonna be a lot of edited information. I'll let y'all know right now. But I had a goal because tomorrow's a holiday. once again, happy birthday, Martin Luther King Jr. It's not just a day off, okay? It's a reason. All right, y'all better say something. Better go read something. Better go to Everything Culture. All right.
Go volunteer.
Go to a parade, something. Hug, just high five a white person, a black person together. Something, okay?
Did y'all what do you guys think of the statue?
Oh Lord.
I did a video, so I'm gonna just let you check it out.
Oh my Lord.
Like,
let's get off of YouTube. Let's get off.
Yeah. Because once again, the initial reaction, I'm like, what? I'm like, wait a minute. Like, because once again, it's us. It's us. So we shouldn't be thinking like that. That's the thing. We shouldn't be, but we all thought it. Yeah. Because I had to do some research and someone showed it's like him and Coretta hugging. I'm like, man, y'all.
I want to know who signed off on that. Who said that was okay before? Like, why not put like a face on there or something?
Or their body, or half their body.
Let's get off the YouTube, y'all.
Okay. Once again, thank y'all so much for listening. Once again, I'm Drake with Everything Culture, the podcast for all culture, the podcast with a purpose. We meet every Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I want to say thank y'all again